Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to continue in order we have enough time for the discussion and in order we can finish before we have the drinks at the end. Ah, yeah, okay. So, so our panel is about greening out of the recession. Not meaning green recession, because this is probably not an option we would really like to have, but having a momentum, a new growth model that is based on a different principle that we had before. And by this I mean, and I think we all mean, not returning to the pre-crisis growth model and not even to the more balanced post-war production and consumption model that Europe and the developed world had, but something fundamentally new. And this, the ETUI itself is doing research and work on sustainable development, also linked to a new growth model. And since there seems to be a consensus, and I think in each of the panels we all agreed that the growth model or development model we had before is simply, there is no way back. It is even physically no way back. And now I don't want to list the different aspects of imbalances, of inequality, the reckless use of material, natural and environmental resources without any acknowledgement of external costs, all that linked to more and more inequality also on the global level. If we look at resource use and population, like 20% of world population using 2/3 of the resources, historically even much more, whereas most the detrimental effects and damage is either on the is partly on future generations, but also on the global poor disproportionately. So it's definitely no way back. We talked. We had a very interesting discussion now on link between growth and jobs, link between growth and resource use. And I think at least one of our focuses is to break the link between growth and resource use. And this would be the principal way ahead. And this is possible. This is not kind of a utopia. It is simply a fundamental market failure of the previous economy and business model where the whole optimization of the business model was made on labor productivity and the cost of labor, and not on use of resources and materials. So I mean, labor productivity was important. It was improving very much in the last decades. Resource productivity, on the other hand, didn't, because a business and the economic model had no interest in that. And this is a market failure, and this needs to be corrected, and this needs to be corrected by policy tools, strict and important and applied policy tools that we do not have, not even in Europe. And this is also one lesson that for the future, all these efforts, let's call them decoupling growth from resource and material use, should be made, well, much more intensive. So actually, what had been done in the last decades must be done 4 times the intensity. So if we want to reduce emissions per capita, now it's 10 tons per capita in Europe. to 2 tons per capita in Europe by 2050, and in the US it's over 20 and must go down to 2. It's an enormous decrease, and it's a very important thing. And this needs a fundamental change. Resource productivity, resource efficiency to put into the focus. That is actually one of our topics in a new ETUI publication, that is greening industries and creating jobs, and the emphasis is also on the end. And I'm now finishing the introduction by saying that even this decoupling of growth from resource use is not something that is obvious or a one-way street. This is also a process that needs to be managed. Increasing resource use can be in different ways. Just an example, go for financial economy, and then you have a higher resource productivity, UK, Luxembourg. But you can keep, let's say, real economy, industrial competencies through much more efficient use of energy and materials. And that would be the way to go, and keep jobs and use the potential of the eco-industry, keep competences in Europe through public investments as well. So it is quite a difficult, almost revolutionary process, and it needs a comprehensive policy framework that includes also industrial policy, social policy, and employment policy, so managing the labor market transition. After these introductory words, I'm just giving the floor to my boss, Philippe Pochet, who is the General Director of the ETUI, and he will make the introductory speech in 15 minutes.